Now if you only click this video to leave a comment about how long OOPSIE bread has been around, I know. It didn't take but about 5 minutes of Googling to figure out how just late to the party I was on this subject. So if you're all OOPSIE'd out, do me a favor, like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you next week. Merry Christmas. Bye, Felicia. For the rest of you, check this out. Now anyone that tries to lower their carb intake will inevitably run up on these weird little bun roll things called OOPSIE bread. And from what I've gathered from my meticulous research, they were created by accident by somebody who was trying to bake a cake and left an ingredient or two out. I guess I can see how it's possible. It's like baking a cake minus the stuff that makes a cake a cake. Just goes to show you shouldn't do drugs and bake. Typically when you make a batch, you get about a half a dozen or so little buns that you would substitute as sandwich bread. But when I was making this stuff and trying to get the recipe right, that got real boring real fast. Don't get me wrong, when you're using big flavors with OOPSIE bread, it works pretty well. By big flavors, I mean bacon, smoked turkey, spicy mustard, really good stuff. Something you'd have in a real big sandwich, one in big Dagwoods. Hell, I even made a Sloppy Joe taco thingy out of it. It was really good. But in an effort to step it up, I took to Google and tried to find different things to do with this OOPSIE bread stuff, and there was no shortage of them. But what really caught my eye was the pizza people have been making from it, because ever since this whole low carb thing kicked in with me, that's the one thing I miss most of all, kind of like Dorothy and Scarecrow. And we'll get to how you make pizza out of it here in a second, but I figure it's my responsibility, since I was so late to the OOPSIE bread game, to kind of pass the OOPSIE torch on to the next person in line that's never heard of it, that's just now hearing of it from this video. So the first portion of this video is going to show just how to make regular old OOPSIE bread. If you wanted to make the little bun thingies, all you do different besides pour it into the size of a pizza, like I do at the end of this video, you would just pour it in a little, about the size of a big mason jar lid. I figure about a cup of dough a piece. That's estimating. I don't really know. I just kind of poured it out. You start by separating 3 eggs. Put the whites in one bowl and the 3 yolks in another bowl. Add a teaspoon to the whites and mix it until it peaks up. It stands up. I use this KitchenAid mixer, and you mix it until you pull. You can lift it up and you can look down. If it stays standing up, that's how you know you're done. Now you can do it with a whisk. I tried that. I had to get on oxygen once it's done, but it's possible to whisk it by hand. To the yolks, you want to add a full pack or 8 ounces of full fat. Make sure it's full fat cream cheese to it, and you'll mix it up until it turns into like finely ground scrambled eggs. It'll take a little while. I think the raw footage I had of that portion was about 5 minutes, but it's worth it. But don't put it in a mixer because it'll get too much air in it. But if you just kind of chop it up like you would grind a hamburger, and it'll get into like a consistency. It'll look like scrambled eggs you get at the Hotel Continental breakfast. That's how you know you did it right. And you'll take that yolk mixture and fold it into the whites, just slowly but surely. It'll look weird at first and it'll look like it's not going, but just keep on it. Just keep folding it in, and eventually it'll mix into a chunky, bright yellow batter. Now pour the batter onto a greased piece of parchment paper. I just use a spray, like you would scrambled eggs or anything else, and put into a 300-degree oven for 25 minutes or until golden brown. In my oven, the 25-minute mark seemed to be the magic touch. Other recipes say 20 minutes. I don't know, maybe they've got a hotter oven. Maybe 200 means something different where they live. Here's where we'll start on our pizza. I topped the pizza with store-bought pizza sauce, a couple handfuls of mozzarella, and about 20 or so pepperonis. The more the merrier. But you can use about any topping you like. A lot of the stuff I saw online, you had shrimp, mushrooms, all kinds of different stuff. Those big globs of mozzarella cheese, about the size of a can of snuff they put on top of the real fancy pizzas. Has anybody ever said can of snuff and fancy pizza in a YouTube video before? They have now. Subscribe. Now pop your pizza into a 425-degree oven for 20 minutes. It's going to look like it's burning the way it bubbles up and kind of browns and everything. It's kind of crispy around the edge, but you won't regret it. Leave it in there the full 20 minutes. Take it out, slice it up, and enjoy. First thing you'll notice is the edges, it kind of even crisp up like regular pizza crust does. Before I tasted this for the first time, I was really skeptical as to whether or not it would be a suitable alternative to actual pizza. I knew it wouldn't taste exactly like it, but could it even fill its place just a little? But after the first slice, I knew I had me a game changer. One thing I did notice is the crust still maintains a little eggy taste, a little eggy and cream cheesy taste. And that leaves it with a kind of a hint of breakfast pizza flavor to it. And the big shocker there is it actually plays well with the traditional pizza ingredients. Your tomato sauce, your cheese, your pepperoni. Which also gave me a idea for a future episode, such as maybe a breakfast pizza, OOPSIE bread, hint, hint. Another interesting tidbit, this is the first time in the last, since I started making these videos, that I ate the whole recipe before I did this narrative section here. That did kind of kill my plans for like a post-credit review of how the leftovers would taste. Again, I'd like to say thanks and welcome to all the new subscribers I've gotten here lately. And if you have yet to subscribe, what are you waiting on? Seriously, this train wreck of a channel can only get better. Get in on the ground floor. Be sure to give this recipe a shot for real. It's as good as the sushi. It's as good as the sloppy joes. Just let me know what you think about it in the comments or tweet me at the do what. And thanks for watching. We'll see you next week and Merry Christmas.